Jamie's reporting to Shan Wu, former federal prosecutor, and Dana Bash, of course, our chief political correspondent, co-anchor of State of the Union. So, Shan, I'm just trying to understand here, right? Jamie's laying this out. They get messages from Mark Meadows that he sent and received during the riot, right? 6,000 pages, okay? And he does all this without anybody forcing him to do anything. He's like, here you go, doesn't claim executive privilege. And now all of a sudden he says, nope, not gonna say anything, not gonna be deposed, no more. What in the world could his game be, Shan?
I suspect he and his legal team are worried about those subpoenas that have been issued for the phone records and text records. He's worried about a perjury trap being created for him, because when he disclosed those documents voluntarily, as Jamie reported, that's voluntary. He can cherry pick what he's giving over, and I would bet that he's giving over things that make him look pretty good. Now, though, he doesn't know what other people may be saying. There may be people that he didn't disclose that he spoke to, so he's worried about that, and he's afraid of being ambushed. And so they are backing out now that they know there's ways that he could be impeached or confronted with material that may not be what he led them to believe it showed.
Which is pretty interesting, and I think really important what you say, right? Like, if he's not going to claim executive privilege, he hands over, his cherry-picked list. Now all of a sudden you realize, oh, they might have a whole lot more than that. You don't know what they know. So Dana, Meadows, maybe he thought that would be enough and that would make them go away. I mean, that would seem to be a little insane for him to think such a thing. But it's a big blow to Chairman Thompson, right? Who made a big announcement 1 week ago today. We were all sitting here on the show. They had that contempt vote. And he said specifically that, the ex-chief of staff was cooperating, right? And now, no, not at all. I mean, how big a blow is this to the committee?
Well, it is a big blow to the committee. The one thing that Shan's analysis makes so much sense from a legal point of view, but from a political point of view and from a personal relationship point of view, there's another really important factor here, Aaron, and that is the book that Mark Meadows wrote. And anybody who has gotten anywhere near the former president and has written a book and has the potential to make money off of that or make money off of anything that has to do with him, he gets angry. Never mind what the headline has been so far, which is the revelation that Mark Meadows put in his book about how bad the former president's COVID situation really was. Never mind that he also had COVID, a positive COVID test, and it opened up so many more realities that we didn't know and lies that we didn't know. There's no question that the former president is mad. That coinciding with his pulling back from the committee can't be a coincidence.
It's just pretty amazing that you write the book, you put all this stuff in there, and then you're surprised that he's mad, and then but then the fact that you're like a scorpion eating your own tail and you run off and try to sabotage yourself at the committee. I mean, it's amazing. Shan, this comes though as we'll see how it plays out with Meadows, right? But there's now a court date for Steve Bannon's criminal contempt of Congress charges, right? For stonewalling the committee, as Meadows may be about to go through this. That trial's not going to begin until July 18th, which is 7 months from right now. So does this actually signal to Meadows and others that, hey, the delay tactic actually works? By the time this is done, Congress may be Republican and sayonara?
I think it does signal that to them. Keep in mind that actually Bannon's team wanted an even longer delay before the trial, and Justice was pushing for April. So the judge kind of split the baby a little bit there. But I think it does signal what people knew, which is once you go into the court system, whether it's civil or criminal, it's going to be a delay. On the other hand, it also signals to potential witnesses that this is for real, that he's going to face an actual criminal trial, and not everybody may have Bannon's reaction to being happy at that prospect.
Right, and of course it's expensive. So Dana, let's talk about the book, right? Because Meadows now doesn't want to talk about Trump to the January 6th committee, but he's perfectly happy to do so when he thought, right, he could write a book and make money. So you talk about what he revealed. He revealed Trump was really sick, that his oxygen levels plummeted before he was taken to the hospital with COVID. And then Meadows goes into great detail about how bad Trump looked, which, I mean, come on. Meadows is not a stupid person. He knows that Trump cares about this more than anything else. So Trump finds out he has to go to the hospital, and Meadows writes, quote, President Trump was sitting up in bed in his T-shirt. It was the first time I'd seen him in anything other than a golf shirt or a suit jacket. The red streaks in the president's eyes hadn't gone away, and his hair was a mess from the hours he'd spent getting Regeneron in bed. And then Meadows comes out to say, right before Trump walked out of the White House to get on the helicopter to go to Walter Reed, he had to drop his briefcase, Meadows writes. The weight was too much for him. Okay, Meadows did not write this thinking Trump was going to be pleased, Dana.
No, he didn't. But anybody who, like that, who comes out of a situation writing a book, is engaged with a publisher who wants headlines that sell books. And this is the guy who was incredibly close to, and therefore all of these moments that almost no one else on the planet was. So of course he's going to write something like that so that people talk about it, that so potentially he sells books. And it always blows my mind, Aaron, and I think you're alluding to this, that people do these things in general, but particularly in Trump's orbit, and think that it's going to be okay and that the former president's not going to get mad, and he always does. Also, not for nothing, have you ever seen Donald Trump carry a briefcase? I haven't.
I mean, well, no, yeah, I don't know what that was about, right? That is a fair point. But it is amazing, right, that they think that they can re-ingratiate themselves, right, when he will hold a grudge and he will exact his revenge, and that's what he has done every time, and he will do against. Amazing to think what Meadows was thinking. All right, thanks so much, both of you. I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
And next, Trump acolyte